Boxing Truth here. Had to talk a little bit about the Wladimir Klitschko Anthony Joshua fight. A very interesting fight, one of the bigger fights that's going to go down in 2017. And it's very interesting in many ways. You got the old champion, former champion, trying to regain his titles or a portion of the titles that he lost to Tyson Fury back in November of 2015. And you got Anthony Joshua looking to build his legacy and looking to make it even more of a name of himself, get even to a higher level if he can get an emphatic win over Wladimir Klitschko. And I'm seeing the common narrative right now among boxing fans and boxing media is that Anthony Joshua is going to knock Klitschko the fuck out. And that's the common narrative that's going on right now. And I don't know. I don't see why Wladimir Klitschko is being counted out against an untested prospect champion in Anthony Joshua. And that's all I'm hearing, that Joshua's going to knock Klitschko the fuck out on April 29th. And that may very well be the case, but I'm not so sure. I'm not too... You sure about that, bro? Because I'm not too sure. Been watching some footage on both fighters. I'm not going to make an official prediction just yet. This fight is... It's not an easy fight to predict. Well, the consensus feel that Joshua should win, and everything points to his favor of winning this fight. He's the younger, fresher guy. He's strong. He's powerful. He's got good technique. Throws very good textbook-like punches. He's got good speed, good power, athleticism. He has a lot of good things physically. He's the A side in this fight. It's on his network. It's going to be in the UK at Wembley Stadium. Over 50,000 tickets have already been sold for this event. So it's going to be a great atmosphere, and Joshua is going to be under the biggest, brightest lights to try to pull off this victory against Wladimir Klitschko. But I don't see how Wladimir should be counted out. Yes, he's coming off a loss. He's coming off inactivity, which points more to the favor of Joshua winning this fight. But the thing is, Joshua is still an underdeveloped, untested prospect who is reigning as the current IBF heavyweight champion of the world. And that is the problem. He hasn't fought anybody. He's fought a bunch of heavy bags. Just look at his last 3 fights. Pretty much almost his entire career. He's only gone past 3 rounds just once. He hasn't really been taken to the deep waters. He only turned pro back in 2013. He's really on a fast track to not just stardom, but becoming the man in the heavyweight division. And it's a little too quick. He's progressed very quickly. He's already fighting the type of opponents Deontay Wilder's fighting, and he has double the fights. He's got more balls than Deontay Wilder. I have much more respect for Anthony Joshua. But you have to consider the style matchup in this fight. And Joshua's style really suits Wladimir Klitschko. The one very big flaw in Joshua's game is his footwork. He's got heavy feet. He's not the most fluid guy. He can be easily countered. And another thing I noticed about Joshua is he's got big defensive holes, and he really can be exploited up the middle through his guard. He's very open with straight shots, 1-2s right down the middle, and that's Wladimir Klitschko's bread and butter. I have concerns about Anthony Joshua's defense. Also, his style really suits Klitschko a lot better and much more in comparison to Tyson Fury. The thing is, Tyson Fury is a completely different fighter. He's a fleet-footed, 6'9", athletic guy who can box your head off. He's not a dynamic puncher, but he's a completely different style. And Klitschko, he's going to be fighting Joshua. Joshua's going to be right in front of him. He's going to be trading shots in the pocket with Wladimir Klitschko. And that style suits Klitschko a lot more. They've had some history in the past. They sparred in the past. According to some fighters, Klitschko beat the crap out of Joshua. Jarrell Miller was already on record that Klitschko used to beat the shit out of Joshua in sparring. But sparring doesn't mean really much of anything. It's just a simulation of, doesn't really tell the whole story. Besides, you're not under the bright lights. There's a lot of fighters that are mostly gym fighters that have gotten the better of world-class fighters in gyms. So I don't take too much account into that sparring. But I have to take into account of the style matchup. And it really suits Wladimir Klitschko. And also, if you look at the body language, it all adds up. You know, the way they talk, it really has an impact on the fight. You know, their demeanor, their confidence. Wladimir is very confident in this fight. Their team is confident. They wouldn't have taken this fight if they didn't think they could win. And they feel Joshua is not ready. And it very well be that Joshua is not ready. I just don't see him just going out there and just blasting Klitschko out within 3 rounds. And I think that's the only way Joshua could win. I think it's ideal for Joshua to get Klitschko out of there as fast as he can, because he hasn't proven that he has the gas tank. He hasn't proven that he can go into the deep waters and still throw those combinations that he has. He's had absolutely no resistance in his career. I mean, look at Joshua's past few fights. The guy practically didn't have to do much defensively, because most of the guys he fought they caved in mentally. Charles Martin, he's better than what he showed against Joshua, but he just caved in mentally. He faltered under the bright lights. Dominic Brazil was a heavy bag, trash prospect guy who was not much, didn't really provide much resistance in the fight with Joshua. But every time he did throw some leather, he was able to have some success. I've noticed a lot of guys just don't throw any punches when they fight Joshua. And now, going up against Klitschko, he's not going to just be fighting some heavy bag. He's going to actually have to slip and dodge punches. He's going to have to deal with some resistance. And I just don't see Joshua just blowing Klitschko out of there within 3 rounds. He's going to have to show what he's made of. He's going to have to go to the deep waters. He's going to have to get through some rough moments. It took him 8 rounds to chop down Dominic Brazil. It took him 9 rounds to get rid of Dylan White. And these guys are nowhere near the level of a Wladimir Klitschko. Not even close. Dylan White is trash, man. He's an okay fighter, but not even, I wouldn't consider him even a world level opponent. He hasn't proven that. He got a decision against Chisora, but I'm not sure he beat him. Close fight, but I thought Chisora landed the more meaningful shots. So, in my eyes, he got beat by a gatekeeper, but it was a close fight. But I'm just seeing a very common narrative when it comes to this fight, that Joshua is just going to beat the shit out of Klitschko and knock him the fuck out. But it's just too predictable. A little too boring to predict that Joshua is just going to put it on Wladimir Klitschko. Wladimir is very confident. He's not some wash fighter just looking for a payday, a cash out payday. This is a determined challenger who wants to be heavyweight champion again. And it's a very interesting fight. Joshua has a lot of physical tools, but I'm not completely sold on him just yet. There's some deficiencies in his footwork, his defense, things that Wladimir Klitschko can exploit. It's a totally different style matchup, a totally different personality. Vladimir's comfortable, man. He's comfortable with the build up to the fight. He's dealing with Joshua, who's not going to talk trash and make unpredictable statements like Tyson Fury does. I mean, Tyson Fury rattled Klitschko mentally. Joshua hasn't been able to do that. Klitschko's totally comfortable, very confident of victory, and he's eager to get back in the ring and show that he just had an off night against Tyson Fury, or it was just simply a stylistic nightmare that he just couldn't deal with. And I'm leaning towards the latter. It was just a stylistic nightmare for Klitschko to deal with a fleet-footed boxer, mover, and Tyson Fury. Handcuffed him. He couldn't let his hands go. And against Joshua, he's going to be fighting a guy who's going to stand in the pocket and he's going to be trading blow for blow for him. That style suits Klitschko a lot more. It will depend on if Klitschko has really gotten old overnight. Everything does point to Joshua's favor winning this fight. Klitschko's coming off a 1.5-year layoff by the time he enters the ring. He's 41 years old by the time he enters the ring. He's going to be fighting on British soil at Wembley Stadium against Anthony Joshua. Joshua's going to have the support. He's the A side. He's got the backing. So everything points to his favor, but the thing is, man, he's underdeveloped. He's not a finished product yet. Needs a couple of more fights. It's too bad he couldn't fight the more worthy contenders out there before he fought a Klitschko, but now he's taken a big leap in competition, fighting untested prospects and the leftovers to now fighting a Wladimir Klitschko, who's only lost once in the past decade. But I understand the excitement with Joshua. He's an exciting fighter to watch, produces knockouts, has the body of a heavyweight. But I don't know, man. I may end up being one of the few assholes that picks Klitschko to win this fight. Not making an official prediction just yet, but I'm just saying, I don't see how Wladimir Klitschko is being counted out against an untested prospect champion. But y'all let me know what y'all think. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.